Hey everybody, Megan here. I'm just here to talk to you about the New Girl episode this week called Julie Berkman's Older Sister. And usually my friend Tessa would be here to do this vlog with me, but she can't make it this week. So I'm just doing it alone, but she'll be back next week for the episode for Micro. So I just want to talk a little bit about this episode. It's kind of hard to talk about because from what I see, a lot of people didn't like it. But then I do see the odd person that says they really enjoyed it and how the comedy is like really good this season so far. And I do have to agree that the comedy is really good. But at the same time, some people think that they're trying too hard. I don't know. I think that so far they've done a really good job with, having the group together and stuff like that. But as far as, we're only into the third episode, so there's still a lot left this season that's going to happen and that we don't really even know, and maybe that the writers don't even know. So don't get down about it because, you gotta have like hope and faith and just think that there's might be some unexpected moments that will happen and that will really surprise you. But there's always going to be episodes that you don't like, or, that you don't find funny, or that you don't agree with, or whatever. So don't get down about that. But as far as this episode goes, in my opinion, after I watched it the first time, I was like, there were parts of it I liked and I thought were really funny, and it's really good that Hannah Simone, is getting a lot of, screen time, and I'm really happy for her for that. And it was cool, her and Jess hanging out, and I really like Rob Reiner's singing. That was really funny, and the guest star, of course. But other than that, I didn't like the whole sponge kind of, storyline. I guess I kind of found it boring. I mean, parts of it were funny, but I, I don't know. I didn't really like it. And of course, a lot of people don't like Nick flirting with other girls, but that's bound to happen. So we kind of just have to get used to that. But other than that, the episode was, I guess I'd give it a B, kind of in the middle. Um, but I'm really, really looking forward to next week's episode called Micro, because there'll be some Jess and Nick scenes. And that is what I feel that really bugged me. Like, maybe that's why I didn't like this episode so much, because of the interaction that Nick and Jess aren't having together. And obviously, with a breakup, things are going to be awkward and weird. But it's annoying that they don't even like acknowledge each other. Like even a minute scene of them just like talking, or whatever. But we haven't really got that, other than in like the first episode, The Last Wedding, when they're like had that scene in the bathroom. But other than that, I don't it really bugs me because, like somebody said, they kind of acted more like exes before they were even together. There's kind of that tension and all that stuff, and I really miss that a lot, actually. Um, because that's what kind of makes like Nick and Jess Nick and Jess. If when in the Mars Landing episode, when they kind of ended things, well, they did end things, but when they were having that like conversation, like they were like, you could tell like they're just so in love with each other, and that's just what doesn't make sense, that they can't even like really try to be like, close friends and like have conversation together. I mean, that's what, maybe to get back to where they were, you kind of got to work on that and build their relationship back. So I really hope they do work on that, because I mean, I know coming up in Micro episode, Nick will be kind of helping Jess with this guy and giving her advice and whatever. But that that part, I like them like interacting like that. And even if you have them in a scene, any scene, you're always going to love any Nick and Jess scene. It's just a fact. If you're fans of them, of course. But The other quick topic I would just like to talk about is, I know a lot of people are talking about this, and this is like on my mind a lot too, is just the character of Nick Miller. So, first season we see him, as like grumpy old Nick, kind of, and then he starts to kind of, in the second season, he kind of lets loose a little. He starts to kind of release his feelings a little bit, not completely yet, but then of course we see him make a move in Cooler, and he kind of steps up his game, and then we see the romantic side of him, and like the sweet guy, like he'll do anything for Jess, like he'll change, and then like we kind of get ups and downs of him. Of course, at the beginning of season 3, we see him as like so in love, like head over heels, he's just in this like new like fantasy world, and so I don't know when we'll see that side of him again. Obviously when Nick and Jess get back together, hopefully they do, fingers crossed, then I'm sure we'll see that again. But I really, really hope that they work on his character at building him up rather than down. I don't want to see him regress anymore. Like, I like a little bit of dorky Nick Miller. Like, it's funny when he does certain things, but when they make him like really dumb and stupid and like not going anywhere, like, I mean, he's in his 30s. Like, there are 30-year-old guys, of course, that are like that, dumb and stupid and stuff, but I know he's a bartender and everything, but like I really like with Winston's character, they're doing something with him. They're making Winston head in a different direction, start a new career, and that's good for that's good for us. I mean, I'm excited to see all that, how he becomes a cop and all that stuff. But as far as Nick Miller goes, he needs to, in order for like Nick and Jess to get back together eventually, he needs to step up his game, know what he wants, kind of maybe go through some relationships and kind of test the waters, see how it goes. Of course, then he'll realize in the end, hopefully, that the only person he belongs with is Jess, and he can't get over her, and then they get back together. But I'm, not giving up on them. Neither should you. And a couple of things too are, I was reading people's tweets during the episode, and they were mostly positive things, but there were a couple of negative. For instance, someone said, "New Girl isn't that funny anymore. They're all trying too hard not to be funny." Or sorry, they're trying too hard to be too funny. And I've heard other people say that too, like on Tumblr. And I can see that in certain ways. They're trying to get back to season 1 and 2, like Liz said, though. So that's probably why a lot of people, think that. Another person said, "That was a great New Girl episode, reminded me of season 1 and its greatness." And then another person said, "So happy New Girl is funny again. Winston trying to say the name of Thor's hammer was the best." So like a lot of people are saying, is that they really, are glad that the funny's back and all that. But it really is split the fandom right now. Like, the New Girl fans are like half and half. I mean, it really is like hard to please everybody. You can't please everybody because everyone has different opinions, everyone has different likes. That's just the way it is. So like people complained about season 3, how it was too much Nick and Jess, whatever, it just wasn't funny. And I mean, I disagree about that. Like, season 2 obviously was my favorite, as was for a lot of people, but I think season 3 was really good, of course, because there were funny episodes, so much Nick and Jess, and people who like them together, of course, will probably agree with me, but like, that's just how I see it, and things can improve. I mean, it's only in the 3rd episode. Just think of season 1, the first like 1 to 5 episodes of that. I mean, of course, beginning a new show, it takes a little bit to get into the episodes, but in season 2, we see, the Neighbors episode wasn't the great, like, there's a couple of episodes that were, like, my least favorite than other ones, and so when you kind of compare, the episodes got better and better as the season went on, like season 2, like, in the mid-season, when we got, like, cooler, like, that was just, like, the greatest moment, and everyone, like, loved it. And so I think Liz is probably going to throw something, like, like, something really unexpected at us. And hopefully she'll hear us, like, tweeting and, commenting and saying how we're not happy with certain things. And I don't know how many episodes they've written so far, but they're probably getting at, like, the mid-season right now. Maybe, yeah. But I'm hoping that this season will be really good because it cannot end this show. It needs to have a 5th season. I mean, we all have to agree on that. I also was thinking, too, that there's probably a lot of newer viewers this season, since, like, a lot of people, like, if they haven't seen New Girl ever, they binge watch, like, on Netflix or whatever, with season 3 just came out on there. So I think that with Let's Be Cops coming out and everything, a lot of people were going to start watching New Girl because if they love Jake and Damon, then that kind of pulls in, like, more people. And as well as the guest stars, Julian Morris coming up soon, a lot of Pretty Little Liar fans and people who are fans of him will tune in probably to support him. And so, I mean, we always pull in people, but I know that the ratings and all that haven't been the best, but hopefully it will improve, and we'll, just keep on supporting the show and not getting too down about it. I know it's hard, though, because I find it like, of course they're going to be a little angry and upset if it's not like what you expect, and if it's just stupid or whatever, but we will see next week. It's the micro episode, and it's going to be probably really funny. I don't know how much Nick and Jess scenes there'll be, but I'm sure there'll be a few. So keep your eyes open for that. I'll be back next week to talk about that episode, and Tessa will be with me, so tune in, and thanks for watching.